I mean, I just really love jam, and I really enjoyed making jam with my gran, and she taught me everything that I needed to know about making the best jam. And other than that, I just made jam every day for a few years, and learned everything I could. And I figured, from the feedback that I got from people and the research I'd done, that trying to make jam 100% from fruit would be a great idea. So, once I had a few flavors that I thought tasted pretty good, it kind of became my dream to eventually create a brand of jam that would be sold in the big supermarkets. And obviously at 17, that was going to be quite an ambition. But Channel 4, one of the big TV shows, started following me around, and they made a TV documentary about it, which is where a lot of that footage you saw in the introduction video came from. And I was invited to go along to a Waitrose Meet the Buyer Day, and Waitrose are one of the big supermarkets here, and Meet the Buyer Days I like to describe as the kind of American Idol of selling groceries to supermarkets. And hundreds of people show up and stand in a queue, and some people have invented a new kind of cake, and somebody's got a great idea for a new sauce, and everybody gets their chance to pitch their idea, in my case to the senior jam buyer of Waitrose. And he thought it was a great idea. He thought it was, great to see a teenager trying to reinvent something that's been around for hundreds of years. But he explained to me that there'd be a long way to go until I could create a product that could sit on the shelves of a big supermarket. I would have to create a brand and set up production in a factory and be able to go back to him at the right price before he'd be, even willing to think about it. But he promised that if I could do all of that, I'd be welcome to go back, maybe in a year's time, and he'd think about giving it a shot. So on the back of that meeting with Waitrose, I decided to put everything I had into trying to create a product that they would be happy with. And I began by trying to create the kind of super jam branding, the design of the whole thing. And I got in touch with lots of design agencies, and I had no experience of creating a brand. And most of them came back with, quotes to create the brand of 10, 20, even £30,000, which I'm sure you can imagine was all somewhat out of my budget. But eventually I managed to convince a local ad agency to work with me really cheaply, and they did that because they just believed in the idea. They figured it would be a big success, and maybe they'd benefit from repeat business further down the line. So the designers and I sat down and had this think about, what the branding should look like. And there's obviously a link between Super Jam and Superman, or so we thought at least.